Welcome everyone to the 30th episode of MacMania. We've come that far already, and this is for the 16th of April 2012, the day after the anniversary of the Titanic, and we've just had a massive discussion on the Titanic. Joining me for the show is Mark Knight from the Mr. Mark UK1 channel, who I believe that the Mr. Mark UK1 channel has actually turned into a gaming channel now. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, Mark?
Well, the Mr. Mark UK1 main channel is turning into a gaming channel. You saw my latest video out. Pretty much all I've got to do now is get the capture card and I'll be able to do gameplay, so walkthroughs, ships and helps, and just random game live plays in Grand Theft Auto. If you want to join me and have Mr. Mark on UK, the PlayStation name is. And the other two channels are like the vlogs and the outtakes, so that'd be fun.
Right, sounds good.
I hope to get you sorted in a couple of weeks' time.
Cool, sounds fun. And also joining us is Lee Edwards from Redhead Lee, Twitter, and also 87 Redhead. I was supposed to say 87 Redhead first, but I ended up saying Redhead Lee. But welcome Lee to the show. And it's great to be here. Doing the show. Not a lot of Apple news going around lately. It's been kind of quiet now that the iPad, since the iPad third generation, has kind of been quiet. The only really big story was a couple of weeks ago when the ACC decided to take Apple to court over, and we talked about that. If you go to the episode 29 on youtube.com/MacMania71, you'll see that we talked about that. And we will talk about that a bit later on because it's ended, but they haven't really got to a resolving point. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But firstly, the Steve Jobs film, we probably briefed on it about a month and a half ago. Well, really, we briefed on it when Steve Jobs died because that's when it kind of came out. Well, it's actually been announced right now that they're going to start filming. The producer behind the impended film, his name is Todd Neowin, I think it's how you pronounce it, and it's going to start filming the biopic, it's called. It will start filming in May in preparation for the release in the fourth quarter of this year. So it's going to come out this year. That's a bit surprising. I was kind of expecting it next year sometime. Don't know why, but it will be. The film will be shot in Los Angeles. I don't know why the film's not going to be shot in California, where Apple's headquarters are. Would be kind of, but basically Mark Newman, he said the film would focus on Steve Jobs' life between 1971 and 2000. So it's not really going to, well, according to this, it's not really going to focus on anything past 2000. So anything like the iPad, for example. Do you reckon that's going to make it a good film, or do you reckon it should be about his whole life? What do we think of that?
His whole life, I reckon.
Because I think the iPad was something that really made him a pretty big name. Like, the iPad was pretty big when it first came out, and I reckon that should be a part of the movie. But he did have a pretty good life, big life, between 1971 and 2000, because that's really when Apple was founded. It was when, and the period when he left Apple to go to, I forgot the name of the company now, I'm having a bit of a... So Ubu just crashed on me, but anyway, I've got the show back up now. Like I was saying, 1971 and 2000 was really when Apple was founded, and it involved him and Wozniak. What do we think about this whole film idea and where it's shot, and what do we think of it?
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. I think remembering him.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea, making a film about him, as long as it's not cashing in on his misfortune. But as regards to the film plot, I think he should cover his whole life.
Yeah.
But just obviously briefly touch on the bits before Apple, like where he went to
Yeah.
college and university and all that sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
forming Apple, and then go from there. Because I think it would be an interesting film to watch for those sort of Apple fans and things.
Yeah.
So
people like.
But yeah, definitely cover it like his whole life,
Yeah.
not just the last 10 years or something, because otherwise it become sort of very boring. You want to know about the man himself, not about Apple's achievements.
That's what I was going to say. Is they need to focus. They need to make it focused on Steve Jobs, because if they focus a lot on him and then also Apple as well, it's going to start. It's going to be an Apple film. You know, it's going to be just a whole Apple film if they focus on Apple too much. And we want to hear the story. You're gone.
Is it going to be called iDVD?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't reckon it will be, because it's not an Apple really.
I feel.
Yeah. iMovie, yeah. But it'd probably be produced in iMovie, to tell you the truth. But anyway, yeah, like they don't want to make it right into an Apple film. They want to focus more on Steve Jobs, how Apple was really created, and how he worked together with Wozniak. And they need to include Wozniak in this film as well, because he was a big part of Steve Jobs in the making of Apple as well. It wasn't just all Jobs; it was Wozniak as well. But I reckon the film will be pretty good. I reckon it'll be good for people like we had a discussion before the show about the Titanic, and it's the same here for people who, you know, were born when Apple was like later than Apple was made, and Steve Jobs has, you know, created Apple, if you know what I mean. And it'll be good for young people along the track to find out how Steve Jobs' life occurred, and the sort of man he was. So I reckon this film will be pretty good, and I reckon it's probably a good idea focusing more on the topic of 1971 and to 2000, because there was also that extent where he got sacked. Was it sacked or no? He went out of Apple and went to Pixel. Next is the company, and went there and created that. No, he didn't create it. No, he went there. So this will be an interesting film. Really looking forward. It's going to be the fourth quarter of the year, so we will expect it at the end of the year, I guess. So looking forward to it. Any more opinions on the film before we move on to our next story?
Can't think of much about the movie. It's good they're making it.
Yeah, it is. Well, it was definitely rumoured. It was definitely rumoured, and it's definitely happening. So let's hope it's a good film, and it shows a lot of information about Steve Jobs. Okay, now moving on now to a rumour that has occurred that Apple will launch new iMacs in June, and ever since I've heard this story, I've been thinking in the back of the mind that WWDC this year will be about the Mac. It just for some reason it's in the back of my mind, and the reason for this is because I'm expecting to see Mountain Lion at this conference. So what better way to promote Mountain Lion than bringing out a new Mac, if you know what I mean, and an iMac.
iPod Touch.
No, I actually think that this will be a Mac event. It will have nothing to do with any of iOS. We may, if we're lucky, see iOS 6. But I reckon it'll be focused more on the Mac, I reckon. I reckon we will see this iMac, and it'll be using Intel's new Ivy Bridge processor. So if it's a new iMac, it will be using that. And also
These the big iMacs, by the way.
Yeah, they're the ones.
The MacBooks, like the laptop.
No, it's the big. It's really only Apple's only desktop computer. It's the one that has like the stand down the bottom. Also, Foxconn will be manufacturing new Ivy Bridge iMac models with new computers set to ship in June. So, what do we think? Do we reckon this iMac will be a part of WWDC? And does anyone want to add any WWDC predictions as well? Because
well, when you said the iMac's only desktop computer, they did make a Mac Pro, the tower version, and I'm sure Chris Prello's got one.
He does, yeah.
I don't know if they still make them.
No, they don't. That was rumoured last year, whether they're going to make a new one or not, or if they're just not going to make them anymore, or what, because there's not really been a lot of news about the Mac Pros. I reckon they'll go out of the picture, to tell you the truth. I think Apple is trying to make better machines than, big ones. A lot of people actually...
I think having the new Macs, like the big tower ones, as you say,
yeah,
is good because they're amazing as it is, but having an next generation of them would be good because you've had to sort of updates for every other device in the last couple of years. So having new Macs on the shelf to purchase, that'll be pretty good. See what they can put into them, or maybe the use of Siri in a way, like some of the dictation features and that sort of stuff. If it isn't in there already, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. No,
but,
not that.
and interesting to see what they can do with like the hardware, obviously. So to make them even more powerful than they already are.
They're really powerful machines. I've had the pleasure of using one before.
Yeah, they're really powerful anyway, but bringing new updates out, make them more and more powerful. You could get more for your money.
Yeah. Just the iMacs, I actually really like the iMacs. They're really probably the best desktop computer really out there at the moment. They're a nice big screen, and I don't think it's really... I think they're the only really desktop computer that really has the hardware built in, instead of, you see the window boxes, and then you have to, plug it into a monitor as well, and then, to just have that desktop computer and just have it, and not even have to, plug it into a monitor, if you know what I mean, because you have to, and, but they have really good picture, the iMacs. They're such good picture. Curtis Parody, he has an iMac. He has one of the biggest ones, which they're massive. I don't know if I'd go for that big, but well, I probably would. But
I don't think you need something that big unless you're going to watch like sort of telly stuff on it.
Unless you're doing a lot of multitasking.
Sort of television.
Yeah, but no. Do we reckon though that we will see iMacs announced at WWDC, or do you reckon they'll just announce it out of the blue in June? What do you reckon is going to happen?
Yeah, I haven't seen any Mac updates for ages.
Yeah, I think the last Mac update
was that WWDC thing.
Yeah.
Would be good.
Yeah, the last.
Because if you're not going to release information about it then, when are you going to release it?
Yeah.
It's sort of one of their main events for the year, so why not release one of your main products?
Saying that their last Mac update was last year at WWDC when they announced not Mountain Lion, they announced Lion, OS X Lion, which is the recent software. They had back, though, talking about the hardware sort of stuff, it was back in 2010, I'm pretty sure, when they released new MacBook Airs, I think it was. They released new MacBook Airs, I'm pretty sure. I know they had a Mac event, 2010, but I'm just trying to think what else was announced. Possibly MacBook Pros might have been announced as well.
What's that noise?
Probably my computer going off. Probably my computer fan.
I can buy that Jacob's laptop.
Pardon? It's not making that big.
Jacob's laptop.
It's not making that big of a fan noise, but
strange.
If we don't see, we're just going back into the same discussion as we've normally had about WWDC. It's approaching. It's not far away. It's about a month and a half away, something like that. Well, 2 months away actually. What are we going to see? Do you reckon it'll be a big Mac update event where we get to see new iMacs, Mountain Lion, or do you reckon it'll just be about mobile iOS? You know, what could we really see?
I think the focus has been a lot on their mobile products.
Yeah, the iPhone's been a big one.
Recent events. But they should focus more on the Macs. Or hopefully they do.
Yeah.
Because if we say it's 2010 until since the last hardware update for them, they are due for one then, because most all been hardware upgrading, double the speed and power. So it's every year. So they are definitely due to do some upgrades. So I reckon the WWDC is the time to tell us all about it.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely going to be interested to see what we see at WWDC. In my head, I reckon iMacs, and there will be a Mac event. I think they will focus a bit on the Macs because, look, the Macs, they're really what started Apple, you know. People are saying the future of the Macs, you know, they're going to go away. Just in the back of my head, they're not going to get rid of them yet. Not for probably another 50 years, I reckon. Just, you know, they're the...
because they can't get rid of the Mac when the iPads are so limited at the moment.
Yeah,
like, you can't plug stuff into.
Yeah, like, if we...
you know...
Like, we can't do MacMania on an iPad. Like, I can't sit there and do what I do now and produce, like, you know, switch and, you know, record MacMania on my iPad because, yeah, you can't do it on an iPod either because there's no really software or anything. It's all on the computer basis. So I don't think the Macs will be not for another few years, a big few years, because I like my computer. I like using the computer a lot, and probably more than what I do on my iPad. But anyway, I reckon the Macs will be a lot. I reckon we will see a Mac event in WWDC. I might change my mind throughout the way to see if maybe there is other rumours, but I'm just going to stick with that at the moment because I think that could be what could happen at WWDC, a Mac event. And then we could even see an iPhone at the end of the year, if lucky. Okay, moving on now. Does anyone else want to say anything about that before we move on?
Well, I just found a bit of news, actually, regarding the Macs. And it says that you might have heard about this. They've released the flashback Trojan malware fix for affecting 600,000 machines.
Right.
But they said that it wasn't, the data suggested that it wasn't anything to do with the operating system on the Mac. It was to do with the Java script plugin.
Oh, okay, right.
But it was Apple's fault in a way because they released an update. Oracle, who own the JavaScript, released an update in February. But Apple delayed issuing the update, enabling hackers to exploit the vulnerability. So, kind of shooting themselves in the foot by not releasing the update for the Java quick enough. So now they've had to go back and release a fix for it, which was about 3 days ago.
Right, I didn't get that.
Those 600,000 machines that were affected have been, got the update and they're all fine. Nothing's happened. But,
right.
Yeah, what a bit of a scary moment that was, I suppose.
I guess it was, yeah. Also moving on to what I mentioned at the start about the Apple a few weeks ago, the ACCC, which is, it stands for, basically it's an Australian Federal Court, or no, not Australian Federal Court, the Australian Competition and Commission took the world's biggest company to court, Apple, over the new tablet, which was misleading Australian customers. So it happened here in Australia. Now it says here that it ended without a resolution, so that was a bit stupid then. So basically the next case will be determined at a directions hearing this afternoon before Justice, hang on, no, I'm reading from the wrong section. So just to recap, basically the ACCC took Apple to court because they were misleading Apple customers with their Wi-Fi and 4G, which means that they were getting told that it was 4G when it wasn't, or something like that. A big thing that it made headlines. A big thing. I saw it. First time I saw it was on ABC. Basically, just to recap, 4G is not capable for Australian users, so we don't have 4G. We still have 3G. I reckon Apple should be pushing to get 4G though in different countries. Like I think the US is the only country that has 4G. Is that correct?
Yeah, if they don't have it already,
like on the iPad. Like
have it.
I think we have 4G, but only on the mobiles. Like we don't have 4G only on the iPads. Like it's only for US at the moment, or something like that.
Yes, I think the 4G released on the new iPad, didn't it? So, yeah, I think the Americans have got that. But yeah, a worldwide release of 4G is a must, because 3G is just way too slow for today's standards. I mean, Wi-Fi now is becoming very, very fast.
Yeah.
We probably don't have the same speeds as the Far East, but you know, like Japan and things, are probably on, like, you know, about 1 million MB or so. But to have a fast mobile internet network is needed.
Yeah.
You know, 3G is just too slow.
Yeah. So basically, just saying it a bit clearer, because I don't think I said the story right. Basically, Apple. I think they're putting it on they're basically calling their iPads when they have, they're calling it iPad Wi-Fi plus 4G, and when they're shipping it, it's still called iPad Wi-Fi plus 4G, or if you're going to get just the 4G version, it's just 4G, and that's misleading Australian customers, because we only have 3G, they're telling us that it's 4G, and basically the parties are going to discuss whether Apple would change the name of the product. So they might change it to iPad plus 3G or something. It's a bit of a mix-up there, and I don't know when this session is happening. I have to get more information on this, but anyway, it just, yeah, interesting story that was. Does anyone else want to make any comments about that? Apparently Apple's misleading their customers.
For the Australian market there, I think they've done a bit of a balls up with, if 4G isn't available, then what they do in shipping a 4G product cheap. But I suppose maybe they're releasing it because 4G is just around the corner. Yeah. Maybe. You know, they're ready to push the button on it, maybe.
3G is slow, and when I was in Melbourne a few weeks ago, was in the hotel. Dad had his little mini netbook. I had my iPod, and yeah, Wi-Fi is just so expensive. You know, to get on the hotel Wi-Fi, it wasn't free; it was paid. So I just flicked on because I have a planned phone. It has 3G. You can turn on something called 3G hotspotting, which basically sets up your 3G network as a Wi-Fi, and it's slow. So I turned it on and set it up, and Dad was using it on his netbook because he had to do some stuff, and I was using it on my iPod. But it is a bit slow, and it would be good to have 4G hotspotting when 4G is around the corner, and be able to turn that on, set it up as like a Wi-Fi, and then have it, you know, on your iPod or your laptop, and that would be pretty fast, wouldn't it? So 4G just around the corner, like you said, Lee. It won't be long until 4G is for everyone, for every country, and then Apple won't be misleading their customers then.
Yeah. When I stayed in a hotel over here,
we just covered in a massive Wi-Fi network, so we wouldn't have to worry about all these Gs coming out. Just have a massive Wi-Fi network.
It'd be surprising you had to pay for Wi-Fi in the hotel, because when I stayed in the hotel over here, we had free Wi-Fi in the hotel.
Some offer free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but it depends on where you're staying. Don't forget, he's in Australia, and that's like, you know,
yeah,
an amazing country.
Some hotels, like I went to, you would have probably remembered, I went to Launceston in January, went out of town and went down to Launceston, just the north of Tasmania, and they had free Wi-Fi there. It's just some hotels just don't want to offer it. They just want to make more money. Like, this is getting a bit off topic. We're getting into hotels here, but they had a bucket of small, I don't know if you have these, they're called Pringles. They're like chips, like, you know, like potato chips kind of things, and they're in like a small container, and you can get like a small container and a big container. They had them for like $6 in there, because you can, you know how you go into a hotel, I don't know if you go into a hotel and they got like snacks, but you have to buy them though, and you got like drinks in the fridge and everything, and but you have to buy them to drink it.
Every way to earn a bit of money, they want to.
But then we went into the supermarket. They had the big Pringles.
Wi-Fi network stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, hotels these days, they offer Wi-Fi sometimes for free, some they like to pay a bill. So some hotels are greedy, others are not. But I guess Wi-Fi costs a lot for them anyway. So anyway, all right, well, we'll move on now. That is the Apple news of the week. And time to go now to the question of the week. Has anyone got a question of the week? Mark, was your turn, but have you got a question of the week, Mark? Lee,
anyone else, Lee?
Have you got a question of the week?
Yeah, I suppose I've got, well, it's a bit of news and a question rolled into one. So, there we go. Let's just get it up here. You may have seen this, I'm not sure, but it says here, a rare prototype of the first Apple Macintosh computer has gone on sale on auction on eBay for $100,000 American dollars, which is £63,000. Right, so that was, I'm not sure when that was released, but it says the Apple Lisa 1 computer was announced in January 1983. So you're talking an 80s computer here. But what my question is, do you reckon it will be sold for around that amount, or do you reckon it will be worth more money? Go for American dollars. So at the moment it's 100,000, right, starting off.
It'll probably be more.
Do you reckon it will go up a lot more?
It could do, but just on the selling, and you reckon it would be sold. I reckon a good Apple lover that actually has like a passion for Apple will buy this, and not to use it, but like collect, like put it in the, you know, the collector's item, and just keep it away. But I reckon though, if for someone to I dropped my pen, but if for someone to buy it, I reckon it would be a museum or something. I reckon, because it don't have I don't know where it is. They have a Mac or a computer history museum. I reckon they'll want to buy that and put it into the cells, and then people can look at it. If they have the money, of course. I don't know, it's a pretty lot of money, and unless Bill Gates buys it, unless
Bill Gates buying it.
he wants to buy it, put it away, and
But no, I think I reckon it'll probably be, like you say, a company or you know that buys it, because you know the starting price is about 100,000. So it's a lot of money for just an individual to fork out for. But yeah, it doesn't look very snazzy. You know, like the old floppy drive in it.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's not useful, obviously. It's not going to be useful to use as your home computer, so I doubt anyone's going to buy it for home computer use, that reason. But just on that,
just over 5 days left.
How many bids?
has anyone had any
I
bids?
actually know that was a couple of days ago. So there's only
Apple might buy it. Apple.
tomorrow is the last day.
Well, if anyone has the money, who is watching our audience right now, if you want to buy this computer, go on the web, go on eBay right now, and go check it out. And if you want to buy it, put in a bid. But could it be a possibility if Apple buys this back? Do you reckon they'll buy it back? You know, is it Apple selling it, or is it just some? Is it just some? They have the money, so they'll be the ones to buy it. But
Oh yeah, they've got more money than the US government, so you know, I'm sure they can afford to buy it one of their computers back. But see if I can get it on, find it on eBay.com.
Mark, what do you think about this? Do you reckon it'll be sold, or?
Yeah, I do reckon it will be sold. It's got to be sold. Hey, yeah, why not?
Alright. So, is there any bids on there, Lee, or is it just plain blank?
It's just, well, I've got the news up, and then I'm trying to find it on eBay. There seems to be another one, which is $51.
Get that one then, and it'll be cheaper.
I think I'll have to go make a bid for that.
The current bid is $51.
Might be better than the computer I'm using now.
I don't know whether there's quite a few of them that are around sort of a couple of £100 or whatever. So that one, I don't know what that one's.
It's going to be a time today.
Oh yeah, right, here we go. It's because it's the prototype. So it's basically the first one ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's correct.
and
Yeah.
it probably doesn't work properly because it's a prototype. But it's the Macintosh 128K with a 5.25 inch floppy drive. So
Wow.
let's see if we can do a quick search for that.
It's just amazing what you find on eBay, isn't it? Just amazing.
It is indeed, yeah. Oh my god. Right, I found the exact one on eBay. Okay, here we go. It's still, oh my god, it's still at just under $100,000. It's $99,995
And no bids or
US
something?
dollars. With postage and packing, like shipping, $1,500.
What? For the postage?
Yeah, for the
So,
shipping.
so, Apple's the only one that can afford that. Apple should just buy it. They're the only ones that are going to afford it. What about if you live next door to the person who has the computer? Do you still have to pay for the postage, or can the person just go next door and just give it to you?
Yeah, deliver it next door to
That is so expensive. Like, oh. Is Bill Gates still rich? Because he might buy it.
Okay, it says it's got a little bit of information for the shipping. It says I'll charge actual shipping and insurance costs only.
You have to give me the
link. The shipping calculator rates are estimates only. Shipping insurance will be required and may have to be purchased through a private insurance company. So the shipping is with insurance as well. That's why it's a lot of money.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
So the insurance is about $1,000 anyway. So you're looking probably about $500 for the shipping.
You have to give me the link after the show. I'd love to have a look.
But I've got to give you the link for this, right? I'm posting the link through here because you have got to take a look at this.
So I can put it up on the screen here if I just open up my my web browser here. If I've got my web browser up, I might be able to go to it right now.
Oh, there we go.
But okay, yeah, I've got it now. So I'll just copy all that.
But yeah, there it is. It is full glory.
So guys, I'm gonna post this up on my browser here and just try and get it up on the screen here. So here, so yeah, the title's Beyond Rare Prototype. It's just loading now. And if I just move...
It doesn't work.
Sorry?
It doesn't work.
What do you mean?
No bids. No one's bid for it.
Well, I doubt anyone will have the money to tell you the truth. But, so,
wow, look at the size of that floppy disk.
Yeah, so, no, this is... So there is...
Steve Jobs at the bottom of the page.
There is the,
really old.
1 day and 24 hours. This is really, really rare. I have to show my dad this. And here's some pictures here. We'll just go and have a look and if I just scroll up here. Oh, hang on. Scroll down. There's some pictures here. So there's a lot of pictures. Here's the and I don't know if this is included, but there's the mat with the old-fashioned keyboards and the floppies. There's the chip. There's a picture of the chip that's in it, which is very good, and there's also other hardware in it. And there's also that thing there. So wow, this is I don't have the money to buy this, but would be good. Would be good to buy. I have to save my pennies in 1 day and 24 hours. So I've got 1 day and 24 hours to save my money up. I have to go and ask.
If you haven't got a spare $100,000,
no, I haven't.
Buy it now because you're missing out.
This is interesting.
Maybe in another 20 years' time, that'll be worth probably quadruple that price. So
it's been signed by people.
This is interesting. The seller person is actually Wozniak, Steve Wozniak. So the founder, one of the co-founders of Apple, is actually selling this. Because I was wondering how would this be selling. It's actually Wozniak. So he must not want it anymore. Hang on, let me just go. This is him. Yeah, this is the profile here. I just managed to see it on the page. But it's Steve Wozniak actually selling it. Wow. Could you get him to sign it as well? But wow, that's a very so the one of the co-founders.
I reckon the amount of money that it's worth is probably because of those signatures as well.
Yeah. So Wozniak's trying to get rid of it. He doesn't want it anymore. So anyway, guys, go check it out right now. If you haven't, I can't really hang on. I'll put the link in the description, but I don't reckon it's worth it because it'll be over by the time I upload the video. So anyway, that's interesting. I like that, and it's the very first one. Very good. All right, well, we'll move on now to the question of the week. Right, we were just on the question of the week. Moving on to the app of the week. Mark, you've got your Mac app of the week, if you still want to keep doing that. Do you have a Mac app of the week for us this week?
I think I've got an app of the week on my iPod, so the app of the week on my
Alright, well you go first on the app of the week.
Battery life.
Battery life. What does that do?
Battery life.
So what does it do? Well, just
You
explain.
need that app for, because, correct me if I'm wrong, you get a percentage in the corner as a screen there.
It just tells me how long I've got with certain features. There's how
Right.
much talk time, how much internet I've got, how many hours I've got. So I've got 1
That's
hour and a half
pretty good.
internet time.
I
know
so
I'm
it breaks
thinking-
down into each app. Clever.
Yeah, like 2 hours of video, an hour of gameplay,
Yep.
gameplay in 3D, and like 13 odd hours in audio.
Nice. Is that free of charge or does that cost?
Yeah, it's free of charge.
Nice. So
And the app is called Battery Life.
okay. So if you're interested in going with that app, check it out. It's on the App Store right now. Battery Life it's called. Okay, Lee, you're next for the app of the week.
Well, my one is probably what most people have anyway, but I've just been using it recently because of it's the Titanic anniversary. So the app I've been using is Twitter.
Twitter!
Yeah, the good old Twitter one. Everyone loves that, don't they? So I've been following the Titanic day by day tweets over the last sort of couple of months, following each step real time as to what happened 100 years ago with the Titanic. So without that Twitter app, I wouldn't be able to follow it, or without even Twitter, you wouldn't even have that feature. So well done, Twitter. If you haven't got it, get it now. If you haven't got an account, sign up now.
Really fun. I like
That's
Twitter.
Twitter advert right
And
now.
I don't know how I've reached 45 followers now. So thank you everyone for following me. By the way, don't know how I've got so many followers. It must be on the live at night. I do. But anyway, thank you, Lee. A great quality app, and just also to mention a little tip in there as well, which I like in this Twitter app, is that you can have multiple Twitter accounts in the app. Have you noticed that, Lee? You can have multiple. So if you have more than one, so like Mark here has more than
I've
one.
only got the one account myself,
Yeah.
but knowing that if
you-
I was to create some more,
have
you
you-
can access them from
Yeah,
the
have
app,
you been
which is
using
good.
the iPod one or the iPad one? I mean the iPhone one.
Both.
Okay, well I think this is for the
Both.
iPad as well. I don't see why you can't. But basically, once you sign into your account, let me just wait for my Twitter to load here. But you just go to me, and it should go down the bottom. Mark has mentioned me on Twitter, by the way. Because it goes straight through to my emails when someone mentions me or follows me. But if you go right down to the bottom, you go to the me section on the right. So you go that little one there, me, and then you go right down the bottom. You should have switch accounts, settings, and help. Now, if you go to switch accounts, you can then you've got the option, the plus sign down here to add an account. You've also got to edit, so you can remove accounts. And it's really good. Like I have my main account, and then I also have Bev TV, and then I also have we also have MacMania as well. It's really, really helpful. Instead of logging out and having to log in all the time, you can just switch between accounts. It's actually really, really good. So that's a tip for you, Lee, and for everyone else. This is only that's on the iPhone version. I'm not sure if it's on the iPad. I'm pretty sure it would be. I've got the iPad version on my iPad, but I haven't actually played around with it. So thanks for that, Lee. That was Twitter.
You could add the MacMania Twitter page to his app.
You have to. Yeah, we won't give him the password or anything now, because otherwise it will be our password will be known on air. But anyway, my app of the week is actually a game. I played this at the airport just for fun. I might have mentioned this like last year on MacMania. It's called Flight Control. It's a great app. Have we all heard of it? It's basically what you do is you basically have to get like as many planes as you can to the to land without crashing into each other. So it's a good app. I think it might be 99 cents now. I think I might have to check. I'm using another account on my iPad, so I might have to check here. Just bear with me for a moment. I think it might be 99 cents. I'm pretty sure it is something like that. Let me just go to have a look here. Let's go to Flight Control. My iPod just got. Oh, whoops. The Flight Control. Yeah, so 99 cents. I was correct. So it's 99 cents. You can also get a $5. You can also get a $5.49 version on your iPad. There's also a free version as well. So if you want to test it out, you can go do that. It is a free version. That's for iPhone. No, it's not actually for the iPhone only. It's actually for the iPod Touch, the iPhone, and the iPad. Because I keep forgetting that you can play iPhone games and iPhone apps on the iPad. Okay.
What's that called? Flight Control.
Sorry.
What's that called? Flight Control.
Flight Control. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up. For another week of Apple news. It's been fun, and we've talked about a lot of topics today. And probably the interesting topic we've capped on is probably that one, the question of the week, the Mac that was found on eBay. That is a great. And it's even good to see that Wozniak is actually selling it. So has it been in the news, Lee, or was it just found?
What's that?
The Mac.
Oh, yeah, so I found it on a bit of news, and then went to eBay to try and find if I could find it, and yeah, it's still there, ready to buy it.
Wow. Alright, okay, we better wrap up then. Thank you very much to all of you for joining. We'll just go through and starting with Lee, where people can find you and your links and so on. So we'll start with you, Lee.
Okay, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Redhead Lee, or the YouTube channel is 87 Redhead. That's it from me.
Okay, Mark. Mark?
Sorry, I shot that. Anyway, my links are Mr. Mark UK1, Mr. Mark UK1 blogs, Mr. Mark UK1 Take 2, and Lee is doing something. I don't know what he's doing. You can follow me on Twitter. Mark94 UK and Simguru Mark. And you can also like the Facebook page, Mr. Mark UK1. We do some really annoying trolls on the MacMania page, which we'll talk about later.
I tell you what, that guy again. We'll talk about it after the show.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil a good show, but I blocked him, and he's been still commenting on the Bev TV page, because I haven't blocked him from the Bev TV page or anything yet. It's just been stupid comments like lol and so on. So anyway, we'll talk about it after the show. But for me, you can find me. Follow me on Twitter at WWDC. Find my YouTube accounts. I've got Bevis Productions, youtube.com/Bevis Productions. I've got the Bev TV main channel, which is my main kind of one, which is youtube.com/Bev TV main channel. I've also got Bev TV 2, youtube.com/Bev TV 2. BevTV1.weebly.com is the website. It's back up and running after I edited it a little bit. And and also you can follow the Facebook fan page of BevTV on facebook.com/BevTV. I'm going to put up a BevTV update very soon, probably tomorrow, because I was going to do it today but never really got around to it. And also follow BevTV on Twitter at twitter.com/BevTV1. And you can email MacMania. Just email us at macmania71@gmail.com. And email us with any questions or anything. Or if you just want to ask a question, it would be easy if you tweet us, because all three of us have got access to the Twitter account. So twitter.com/macmania71 is where you can ask a question, and we'll get back to you. Or you can also write on the Facebook fan page as well, facebook.com/macmania71. Yeah, that's basically it. I think that's all the links for MacMania. The website as well, macmania71.weebly.com. Thanks Lee, thanks Mark for a good show. And this has been episode 30 of MacMania. We will be pulling, I am planning to pull a big party for episode 50 when we get to it, which will be in about 20 weeks time, I think it is our 50th. 20 weeks, is it? No? Yeah, it is 20 weeks.
Probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Elliot and Robin again for the 50th episode if you want.
Yeah, I reckon Elliot will be available for the show then, probably in July or something, probably. We're definitely getting him back on for the Christmas show though, and this year's Christmas show will be a big success, okay? It won't be stuffed up, it will be on YouTube afterwards.
My one is.
Anyway, we won't worry about the Christmas show yet because that's a while away yet. Anyway, thanks very much everyone for joining us.
It's not even the summer yet.
Thanks very much for joining us. Have a safe and happy week. And until next Monday, bye for now.
Have fun.